There are 3 used cars sitting on dealer lots right now that salesmen secretly hate. Not because they're bad cars, because they won't die. The first one on this list looks boring until you realize it refuses to break. The last one? That one makes luxury brands look like a bad financial decision. And every mechanic I know is quietly buying these while everyone else keeps overpaying for the same old badges. Welcome to Old Man Garage. I've spent over 2 decades turning wrenches, watching trends come and go, watching hot cars turn into money pits, and watching truly great cars get ignored because they're not cool on Instagram. This video is not about project cars, compromises, or good for the price. These are cars that hit 300,000 miles with nothing but oil changes, brake pads, and the occasional insult from your friends. People keep throwing money at Camrys and Accords like they're the only reliable things on earth. Meanwhile, these 3 are sitting there undervalued, overlooked, and laughing quietly while the check engine light never comes on. Today, I'm breaking down 3 of the most criminally underrated used cars in America. Same reliability as the big Japanese legends, but priced like nobody got the memo. Stick around, because if you think number 3 is impressive, the last one is going to completely change how you look at old people cars. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to be mad you didn't buy one sooner. Number 3 on this list is a car that mechanics actually like seeing pull into the shop. Not because it's broken, but because when it finally does need something, it's easy, cheap, and doesn't ruin anyone's week. This is the car that quietly humiliates overpriced sedans while pretending to be just transportation. And you can buy one right now for money that people are paying for clapped-out German problems. I'm talking about the 3rd generation Mazda 6, model years 2014 through 2017. Now let me paint a picture I've seen way too many times. A customer walks in, usually late 20s or early 30s, says something like, "I want something reliable but fun," and then immediately points at a used BMW or Audi like they're immune to consequences. Last year, I had a guy ready to buy a 2015 BMW 3 Series with around 80,000 miles. Dealer wanted just over 15 grand. I asked him one question. "Do you have $4,000 set aside for repairs in the next year?" He laughed. I didn't. I pulled up a 2016 Mazda 6 Touring on my phone. 70,000 miles, clean title, $12,000, same year, same general size, less ego, more brain cells. He bought the Mazda. That was over a year ago. Want to know what he spent since then? Oil changes, tires, brake pads, that's it. No warning lights, no drama, no sad phone calls. Here's why the Mazda 6 is such a sleeper. Mazda did something almost illegal in modern car design. They didn't overcomplicate it. The 2.5-liter naturally aspirated Sky-Activ engine is simple, overbuilt, and allergic to dying. No turbo to cook itself. No CVT pretending it's a transmission. No dual-clutch roulette. Just a proper engine with a proper 6-speed automatic that Mazda engineered themselves and actually tested. And here's the nerd part that matters. That engine runs a 13-to-1 compression ratio. That's sports car territory. But instead of blowing itself up, it gets better fuel economy. We're talking about real-world numbers in the low 30s on the highway, sometimes higher if you don't drive like you're late to everything. It's efficient without being fragile, which is basically black magic in today's market. Every time one of these comes into the shop with over 150,000 miles, the owner is nervous. They're waiting for the big bill, the mythical "here it comes" moment. I put it on the lift, check suspension, scan it, inspect the drivetrain, and then I have to give them the most disappointing news ever. You're good. Come back in 30,000 miles. I've watched grown adults look offended by that. Maintenance costs are borderline insulting. The most expensive surprise repair I've personally done on a Mazda 6 was a water pump at around 140,000 miles, $680 parts and labor. That's not a crisis. That's an inconvenience. Compare that to the average surprise repair on a same-year Accord, which usually lands closer to $1,100, and suddenly the math gets very uncomfortable for Honda fans. Used prices are where this thing becomes a steal. A 2017 Mazda 6, touring with around 70,000 miles, usually sells between $12,000 and $14,000. A same-year Camry SE with similar mileage, $17,000 to $19,000. You're paying $5 grand extra for a reputation that Mazda already earned but nobody noticed. Now, quick inspection tips before you buy one. First, check the infotainment control knob. If it feels loose or sticky, the previous owner treated it like an arcade joystick, not a deal breaker, just leverage. Second, take it on the highway and let off the gas around 45 miles per hour. If you feel a slight shudder, it's probably motor mounts. Known issue. About $350 to fix. If the seller won't negotiate, walk. Also, quick heads up, some 2014 and 2015 models had paint adhesion issues. Look around the hood and trunk edges for bubbling. Mazda quietly extended warranties on that, so check if it was already handled. If it was, you're golden. Who should buy this car? Someone who wants reliability but still enjoys driving. This thing handles better than anything else in its class. And yes, that includes the Camry. Someone planning to keep a car past 200,000 miles. Someone tired of paying the Toyota tax just to feel safe at night. Who should skip it? If you need maximum back seat space, it's a bit tighter. If resale value is your religion, the market still hasn't caught up to how good this car is. Which honestly is why you're watching this video. Quick mechanic math before we move on. Buy one for $12,000, drive it 150,000 miles, spend maybe $2 to $3 grand on maintenance total. That's one of the best cost per mile deals in the entire midsize sedan world. And before we go to the next one, quick favor. If you've got that one friend who keeps shopping German luxury cars on a Toyota budget, send them this video. You might actually save their bank account. Now, if you think the Mazda 6 is overlooked, wait until you see the next car. This one makes luxury badges look wildly overpriced, and the reason it's cheap is honestly hilarious. Number 2 on this list is a car that salespeople struggle to explain and buyers struggle to take seriously. Not because it's bad, but because the badge scares people under the age of 50. This is the car that proves depreciation has absolutely nothing to do with quality and everything to do with image. Meet the Buick Regal. Specifically the second generation, model years 2014 through 2017. Now I know what you're thinking. Buick? Really? Yes. Relax. This isn't your uncle's land yacht with red velour seats and a cassette player permanently stuck on a Barry Manilow tape. This Regal is basically a German sedan wearing an American name tag so it could get into the building. True story. Last year, a customer came in, late 20s, wanted me to inspect a 2014 BMW 3 Series, about 87,000 miles. Dealer wanted 14.5 grand. I looked at the service history, looked at what was coming due, and told him straight up, "You're about to buy a $14,000 car that needs $4,000 in repairs in the next year and a half." He didn't like that answer. He asked me what I'd buy instead. I pulled up a 2015 Buick Regal on my phone. 62,000 miles, $8,900. Same power, quieter ride, less stress. He bought it. 14 months later, he came back for an oil change. Total repair cost so far, $47. Air filter and oil. That's it. I wish German cars embarrassed themselves this easily more often. Here's the part nobody tells you about the Regal. It's built on GM's Epsilon 2 platform, co-developed with Opel in Germany. That means the chassis tuning and driving feel are European. The 2.0-liter turbo engine is the LTG, the same motor that won Ward's 10 best engines multiple years. It's smooth, strong, and doesn't self-destruct if you look at it wrong. The transmission? 6-speed automatic from Aisin. That's a Japanese company that also supplies Toyota. So what you're really getting here is German engineering, Japanese transmission reliability, and American pricing, because it says Buick on the hood, and people think it comes with orthopedic shoes. Performance-wise, you're looking at around 250 horsepower, 0 to 60 in the low 6-second range, and real-world highway fuel economy in the high 20s. Not bad for something everyone assumes is slow just by looking at it. Used prices are where this thing becomes criminal. A 2015 Regal with under 80,000 miles usually sits between $8,500 and $11,000. Compare that to a same-year BMW 3 Series, which is 14 to 18 grand. And that BMW is one coolant leak away from ruining your month. Repair costs? Night and day. Timing chain replacement on the Regal, if it ever needs one, which is rare, is about $1,100. On the BMW, you're starting at $2,800, and that's before anything else goes wrong. Turbo replacement on the Regal is actually accessible. I can do it in about 3 hours. On the BMW, the turbo is buried like a cursed artifact. You're looking at over 3 grand in labor alone. If you're shopping for one, here's what to check. First, the PCV valve. Buick updated the design after 2014 to fix an oil consumption issue. If it's been done, you're solid. Second, inspect the turbo inlet pipe. If it's cracked, it's a $90 part and 20 minutes of work, but it tells you the previous owner skipped maintenance. Third, test the touchscreen. Some infotainment units had delamination issues. Not mechanical, just annoying. About $400 to fix. Bottom line, the Regal gives you a near-luxury driving experience without luxury repair bills. The only reason it's cheap is because your neighbors don't know what it is, and your friends think Buick is a retirement plan. Quick mid-video reminder from Old Man Garage. If this video is already changing how you look at used cars, hit that like button. It helps the channel more than a fresh set of tires helps a front-wheel drive burnout. And now for the final car. If these first two surprised you, this last one is going to offend a lot of luxury buyers. This is the one I recommend more than any other. The one people laugh at until they drive it. Number one on this list is the car I recommend more than any other when someone tells me, I just want something that won't ruin my life. It's the car people laugh at in the parking lot and then secretly Google later that night. It has the same DNA as a Lexus, the same reliability as a Camry, more space than both, and it sells for thousands less because everyone thinks it's a senior citizen's car. This is the Toyota Avalon, 7th generation, model years 2013 through 2018. Let me tell you about a customer who almost argued with me over this car. 2 years ago, woman in her mid-40s, professional job, 60-mile daily commute. Budget around $18,000. She had been shopping Camrys and Accords like everyone else. I asked if she'd looked at an Avalon. She laughed and said, "That's what my grandmother drives." I walked her outside and pointed at my personal car, a 2014 Avalon Limited with 188,000 miles on it. I bought it with 90,000 miles for $13.5 grand. At that point, I'd spent maybe $1,800 total on maintenance, and that included brakes and tires. She stopped laughing. She bought a 2015 Avalon XLE the next week, 71,000 miles, paid just over 14 grand. She texted me last month. She's at 142,000 miles now, 0 mechanical issues. Her exact words were, "Why doesn't anyone talk about this car?" Great question. That's why Old Man Garage exists. Here's why the Avalon is such a cheat code. It shares its platform, drivetrain, and engine with the Lexus ES 350. Same parts. Same 6-speed automatic. Same 3.5-liter V6. Same assembly line in Kentucky. The only real difference is the badge and some interior materials. Mechanically, they're basically twins. That engine, the 2GRFE V6, is one of the most reliable engines Toyota has ever made. No turbo, no direct injection headaches, no timing belt replacement, just a timing chain that lasts as long as the engine itself. I personally worked on multiple Avalons with over 350,000 miles on the original transmission. Not, I heard about one. I've had my hands on them. Fuel economy is better than people expect too. You're looking at low 20s in the city and high 20s on the highway. And this thing was built to cruise. 80 miles per hour all day, quiet, smooth, stable, like it doesn't even notice. Now let's talk money, because this is where it gets offensive. A 2016 Avalon XLE with around 80,000 miles usually sells for $14,000 to $16,000. A same-year Lexus ES 350 with similar mileage, $21,000 to $24,000. That's a $7,000 to $8,000 difference for the same mechanical car. You're paying for leather stitching and bragging rights at the valet. Even funnier, a 2016 Camry XLE V6 often costs as much or more than an Avalon. Smaller car, fewer features, same reliability. Make it make sense. Maintenance costs are laughably low. Brake pads for all 4 wheels, around $280. Transmission fluid service, about $180. Water pump, if it ever fails, usually past 200,000 miles, around $650. That's not scary. That's Tuesday. If you're inspecting one, here's what to check. First, run the VIN for dashboard recalls. Some 2013 and 2014 models had cracking dashboards in hot climates. Toyota extended warranties on that. Second, look at tire wear. Uneven front wear usually means alignment was ignored. Not a deal breaker, just negotiate. Third, test the infotainment system. On XLE and limited trims, touchscreens can get laggy. Make sure everything responds. And here's the real pro tip. Find one owned by an elderly person. I'm dead serious. Garage kept. dealer-maintained, driven gently. A Grandma Avalon with 60,000 miles is basically a new car with a better attitude. Who should buy this car? Highway commuters. Families who want space without an SUV. Anyone who wants Lexus reliability without paying Lexus prices. People who plan to keep a car for 10 years and actually sleep at night. Who should avoid it? If you're under 30 and care deeply about what your friends think, this might hurt your image. If you want sporty handling, this isn't it. And if you live somewhere with tight parking, yeah, it's big. About 192 inches long. This is not a compact. Final mechanic math. Buy one for 15 grand. Drive it for 200,000 miles. Spend maybe $3,000 in maintenance. That's it. If I had to buy one car today to last the next decade with the lowest possible cost of ownership, I'd buy another Avalon without thinking twice. So there you have it. 3 cars the market forgot, but mechanics never did. The Mazda 6 that depreciates like it's cursed, but runs like it's blessed. The Buick Regal that's secretly German and criminally underpriced. And the Avalon, the ultimate old person car that quietly outlives everything else in the parking lot. If this video helped you see used cars differently, do me a favor. Send it to that friend who keeps shopping luxury cars on a budget that says, bad idea. And if you want more real-world car advice with zero dealership nonsense, subscribe to Old Man Garage. I'll keep telling you the stuff salesmen won't. So there you have it. 3 cars the market forgot but mechanics never did. The Mazda 6 that depreciates like it's cursed but runs like it's blessed. The Buick Regal that's secretly German and criminally underpriced. And the Avalon, the ultimate old person car that quietly outlives everything else in the parking lot. If this video helped you see used cars differently, do me a favor. Send it to that friend who keeps shopping luxury cars on a budget that says, bad idea. And if you want more real-world car advice with zero dealership nonsense, subscribe to Old Man Garage. I'll keep telling you the stuff salesmen won't. Take care of your car and it'll take care of you. See you in the next one.